Show. It's the real Chat Daddy Show. It's the real Chat Daddy Show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Real Chat Daddy Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the return of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Art Chat Daddy Sims. Glad to be back with you guys. It's been a long time. I miss you guys. I decided since it was the winter time and most people are in the house in the winter, why not start the show back on Tuesday night so we can catch up on all the gossip, the entertainment, everything that we've missed. I've missed you guys so much, my wonderful audience. And joining me tonight, I have a couple of people who will be stopping by, but who's here with us right now is my dear friend, the one and only Miss Dion Nicole Smith. Not only is she a Renaissance woman, a very creative woman, a philanthropist in the highest level. She and I work together at Guest House, and she is also just a funny woman. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. My dear friend, the one and only Miss Dion Nicole Smith. Soul sister.
Hey.
Hi.
Thank you for the intro. Intro was very sweet. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, that's good. That's good. Please send me a check in the mail. You know, every time I do a great intro, I always tell people to send me a check in the mail if you can.
Okay. Well, I'll do what I can do.
All right, very good. Well, Dion, it's so good to have you here with us tonight. You and I were just talking about the fact that I've been off the air for a while. I've had a lot of different things going on. I'm a part of the Guest House family and team, and that's been great. I've had some other things that I've been doing. And so later on tonight, you and I are going to talk about some of the magic that Guest House has coming up for the 25th year. Yes. But I also want to congratulate you on the phenomenal job you did yesterday on Daytime Chicago. Let's give Dion a big round of applause for that. Yes. Let's talk a little bit about you, what's been going on, and Happy New Year. And let's talk about Guest House too.
I know. Happy New Year to you too. And honestly, it's a blessing. And we were invited to be on Daytime Chicago yesterday, WGN's morning talk show. And if it wasn't for a certain person that I know who decided to reach out, use his contacts to get us on, which was lovely, it was on time because people in Chicago need to know that these resources are here and available to them. So I thank you, my friend, for being able to work your magic to get me on, along with our colleague, Executive Director Adam Hellman. And it was wonderful because, to be able to have 5 minutes of airtime, everybody knows how valuable that is. When they showed images, they made sure they had our website and our number. And when we returned to the office, as we well know, our colleagues have been getting calls from people who said, "Hey, Gabby." Our colleagues have been getting calls and, "Hey there, beautiful ladies. I love how everybody's popping in. Hey, Gabby's mama."
Hey, Gabby mama.
It was wonderful to be able to hear that people saw us and wanted to get more information, because that's what it was about. The whole point of the show was to be able to have people understand how wonderful the Guest House is, how it's this amazing organization that provides support when you need it and provides temporary lodging, even if you're here in Chicago and you can't afford to go back and forth via public transportation or Uber or what have you. Maybe you're immunocompromised. That's what we do. We provide that temporary lodging. So it was wonderful to be able to share that with the people in Chicago. And Tanya and Amy were so lovely. So thank you, my friend, because we got 2 different marathoners and we need more, but we got 2 based on seeing yesterday. So hopefully, we have a few more hours left. So I'm hoping, please.
Well, later on this evening, we'll put up all the information on how you guys can be a part of the Chicago Marathon. As you all know, the deadline has already approached, but because we are one of their non-for-profit partners, we do have some slots that can be filled. So if you know anybody who is a runner, a marathon runner, you're qualified to run a marathon. I ain't talking about you bootlegging and robbing people and all that. Y'all need to turn that into a trade and a skill too.
Oh
I'm
my
talking about
gosh.
people who are actual marathon runners. We have a slot for you in the Chicago Marathon, but you raise money for the wonderful guest house. So I love that. I really do. It's my pleasure. It's my honor. I appreciate you bringing me to some place where I feel like it's family. I feel like, there's nothing we won't try and do for the greater good of the guest house. And, our founder, Jane, who we just love and appreciate her, Adam, for all he does, and the rest of the team members. Small team, but a huge impact. And, I've deemed 2024 the year of all things epic. So,
Yes.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. And that's how it's going to be. But you guys did a great job on Daytime Chicago yesterday.
Well, thank you. And I've been saying, which a lot of people have, we have to do more in 2024. So
Right.
we got to keep pushing. We have so many mountains to climb and we have heights to reach. So we got to keep pushing.
Very good. I couldn't agree more. I appreciate you so much for that feedback. Well, I want to get into tonight's show because we're going to try to get everything in within an hour. Some things Dion may know, may not know. Our other host was having trouble getting in. Everybody has not used these computers in a while. My hands are rusty trying to navigate around this board tonight. I'm like, oh my God, so I get it. Well, today, Dion, is National Escape Day. And you and I, both being Scorpios, we love great vacations.
Yes.
We love doing things that, you would not believe. But today is National Escape Day. So today I posted a picture of me in the Pacific Ocean off of the coast of Hawaii. And I was like, I need to live that moment. Oh, I'm tongue-tied. I need to live that moment in my life again and very soon. What's your ultimate escape?
Ooh, look, I feel truly blessed that I have been able to travel around the world a little bit. Look, not as much as you, but I have been blessed to have done some epics and go to Hawaii a couple times, which is a blessing. But I have recently been able to go over to Spain, and I am so excited about, my next trip. So I don't know if I have, honestly, and this may sound boring because I have been blessed to go to Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Now, I will say that I haven't gone to like London and Australia and New Zealand. So it's like I really would love to get over to New Zealand and to Australia over there, see my native people, right?
Right.
See the other people of color. I would love to get on over there and to see a little bit more. And I would love to go back down to South America, like, to be able to go to Aruba, and to go to Curacao, but to actually go and spend a little bit more time in certain places, that would be great. But I look at just certain cities in this region that I haven't been to for any amount of time, like Montreal.
You've never been to Montreal?
I've never been to Montreal. I was just talking to my cousin about that the other day because he goes for work a lot. I told him, I said, I'm just going to have to figure out one of these trips when you get there because I really want to go to the Montreal Jazz Fest. And that's one place that I need to get my French together, but I want to get.
Let me say this. I've been to Montreal many times and I love Montreal. For many people who have not done the London, Paris, but would love a great European experience, Montreal is the perfect place because it has the European quality, the charm. You walk down the street, that's right. And the language barrier even though French is the native language there in
Right.
Montreal, it's really not a problem. Like I didn't
Okay.
have a lot of problems. I actually
Okay.
found the French to be very sexy, a language when
Mhm.
they were speaking it. And so
Mhm.
I tried my best to emulate or,
Yeah. Yeah.
find ways of communicating with them in whatever French I could. So
Yeah.
part of it was like no problem at all, but it's a beautiful place, very
I
beautiful.
wish I could remember. All I remember are, bonjour, comment allez-vous? Très bien,
Yes,
merci, et vous? That's
yes,
all I remember, sadly.
yes,
That's it. From class,
yes.
from elementary school. That's all I remember. So I really need to, tighten my skills and relearn French because I would love to go to Montreal.
Well, I hate to admit, all I probably remember is the French words from Lady Marmalade.
You know
And
what?
right,
I
right.
had a feeling
And
you were
and
going there.
and and honey, I got up there and that's all I could say. But I had some good nights. I had some excellent nights. I
Oh, I'm
did.
sure you did.
Right, but that
Oh,
was all I could really say, pretty fluent was, from Lady Marmalade. So, that's about the extent of my French as well, too,
oh, I'm sure of that.
Yes. So I just, being honest, moments of transparency here.
I'm
That's
not
all,
mad at you. I'm not mad.
Yes, moments of transparency. We also want to take a few moments to wish the queen herself, the one and only Miss Oprah Winfrey, a happy 70th birthday.
Yeah.
Yesterday was Oprah's 70th birthday. Honey, Oprah looking good. She done got them knees fixed, and baby, she went for a run on her birthday. She encouraging me to get my knees fixed.
Oprah looks amazing. She looks absolutely amazing. If it honestly, Oprah was already always a beautiful woman, but that hair and that figure, honestly, I feel like this is Oprah living her best life, as she always loves to say, coining that phrase. Talk
Yes,
about living her best life. To me,
yes,
she keeps getting more magnetic.
yes.
She just her light is shining. You can tell she's doing shifts like a lot of us are, right?
Right,
Diet and
right.
everything else. And you
Yes.
can see it. Like she just looks stunning. Oprah looks so good. And
You
that's
know,
how I think we all want to age, right? We all want to
right.
age like that.
A lot of times people player hate on Oprah. I don't like Oprah. Oprah a mess.
No.
Here's the deal. I remember Oprah from old school Chicago. I'm
Right.
talking about
That
back
picture
in
was
the
so great.
80s. In the 80s. You understand me? I
Mhm.
remember running into Oprah at Faces and
Yeah.
Sweet Georgia Browns and places
Uh-huh.
like that. And when Oprah was around the people, and she was just
Right.
an everyday average person.
Right.
And so to see her rise to the level of
I
success
know. I
she's
know.
gained, I'm not gonna
Seriously.
player hate on that woman. To me,
No.
if you hate
No.
Oprah, you hate your mama. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you. No, there's
Yeah,
no
that's
reason. You
yeah,
have to be proud. You should be proud of Oprah. You should be.
right.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't get the people that hate on her like that. What is that all about? I
It's
think Oprah
envy.
is just
It's
amazing. I really
envy.
do.
It's envy. I
Yeah,
mean, that's all you can say. It's envy. There's no reason to. I mean, and
right.
she's done more than a lot of people will ever be able to do for people in their lifetime. So, there's no point of hating on anybody. If to me, if you do, then you really are. There's something you're hating on yourself, right?
Right.
There's
Yeah.
just something about you that
When
people don't
people
like.
do that, I'll be like, dang, do you like
Yeah.
your mama?
I,
Like,
honestly, I'm with you
yeah.
on that. I'm totally with you on that. Yep. I'm with you
I
on
mean,
that.
the lady is a millionaire 10
She
times over. She's a media
seriously.
empire. Her
Yep.
name went from Oprah, Little Afro Winfrey, you know what I'm saying, to
Hmm.
now just
Hmm.
Oprah. I'm
Hmm.
not there. So
No,
we need to go somewhere with all that hate. You know what I'm saying? I just think it has
seriously.
no place in this world.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. We don't have time for that. Can we bring some love here? There's enough going on in the world. We don't need any more hate.
I love it. I really do. Well, our next guest is here to join us tonight. January is Mental Awareness Month. And so I felt it was important that we start the first show off also with the I can't talk tonight. I've been out of sync. Mental health expert. And so our good friend, Mr. Philip Montgomery, is back. We call him our very own Dr. Phil around here. He's going to join us for hot topics, as well as we have some other things that we're going to talk about later on in the show as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Our good friend, the one and only, Mr. Philip Montgomery, aka Dr. Phil of this show. Hey, Philip.
Hey, good evening. How are you two doing tonight?
Hey, Philip, how are
Hey,
you?
good. I'm good. A little technical difficulty, but I'm here. I'm
You're
good.
you're
Very
here.
good. You
You're
look
here.
amazing. You do. Glad you're here tonight with us. Missed you, my friend.
You too.
I was supposed to have been back in my studio tonight, but we're still working on some things. And I promised my audience that we would return back tonight. And so I'm so glad you two were able to join me. We had a fourth guest, but she had a family emergency, but she's listening to the show. And we really appreciate, just you two being here to help us kick off the show again tonight. So, Philip, since we've last seen you, my friend, what have
Mhm.
you been up to? And just kind of refresh the audience's memory about what you do and who you are.
Okay. I am a doctor and I specialize in clinical mental health. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I typically work in the area of anxiety and depression and anger and things that kind of trouble our African American males. Living in an urban area, there's a lot of trauma, a lot of community based issues. And I tend to work with that population to kind of help them manage what's going on, removing stigma so that they can see that they're not alone, supporting them and getting them to a place where they feel better, hopefully. And since we last saw each other, I've just been working away at that. I've been working in the community, working with our brothers, trying to help them find better ways, healthier solutions, uh, private practice growing, enjoying the work that I'm doing. I think I'm helping a lot of people. Anxious to get back in this forum so that we can spread the word even more, because I think the time has come for us to understand that some of us, we're always dealing with something, but reach out. Don't let it take over you. You take
Right.
control of the situation.
Yes, I could not agree with you more. Philip, I came into this year with a new mindset. My moniker this year is 2024, the year of all things epic. And
Mm,
I refuse to let anything bother
no.
me this year. Anything that is not protecting my peace, I do not want to be bothered with it. And so
Hello.
Mm,
Hello.
I really don't. I just thank God that everything that I do on a daily basis has peace in it. And from there, we can figure out everything else. But
Hmm.
when you're not dealing in the realm of peace and good energy and harmony, it's a
Yep.
bad place to be.
Yep.
I don't know. I just thank God I'm where I'm at right now. You know what I'm
I
saying? And
Hmm.
it's a good place.
I think 2024 is going to be a breakthrough year for a lot of people. We have come through 2.5, 3 years of uncertainty and an illness that none of us ever imagined. I mean, it was of a magnitude where it took out so many people. I mean, a lot of people were forced to truly walk over to the mirror and look at themselves. And I think you said it best. We have carried this burden of crap for just way too long. It's time for us to make different moves. It's time for us to look for things that make us happy. What makes you get up in the morning and smile? Start doing more of that. If you
Hmm.
need to become an entrepreneur or if you need to make a change in your career, see what steps you can take towards that and make it happen so that you're not thinking of your work in a negative way. Positivity should be the moniker for 2024, and change should be embraced, because I do think we have come out of quite a traumatic period, and it's now time for us to find that version of peace to carry us forward through the next decade.
I think it's beautiful. Dion, what do you think about what Dr. Phil said tonight?
I, I I definitely think that you're spot on, but that also, a lot of it's based on what you believe in too,
Hmm.
and what you're used to, what you've been around. As someone who was blessed enough to grow up around people who talked about spirit, who talked about positivity, who talked about who do you lean on. Everybody's different, but what I
Definitely.
believe, I'm a woman of faith. So I was raised in a household that believed in a higher power, believed in a God, believed
Hmm.
that you take everything to God. saying that, we're human. So
Mm-hmm.
we're not perfect. We're
No.
going to make mistakes. We're going to have stuff. And just because you believe doesn't mean something's not going to happen to you, right?
Right.
I've been through a lot, and I was been through a lot recently, and in 2023, ended up having some major things happen to me that I never thought would ever happen to me in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But it's made me stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Have a choice. If I believe in something, if I believe in what I believe in, right, which
Mm-hmm.
is that I have to take it to the Lord. If I believe in that, then I have to lean on that, right?
Right.
I have to believe that, okay, I have to stay positive. Doesn't mean that I may not shed a tear, doesn't mean that I may not be emotional, but I choose to wake up every day and
Mm-hmm.
read something, removing the stress or trying to. I actually have a book that I was given as a gift that was worry more, worry less, pray more.
Mm-hmm.
And so I literally read that every morning, every day. I read a separate page. And for me, you have to do things that are going to keep you focused
Mm-hmm.
and keep you centered, because I just I've I've always kind of been that way, though, in terms of I never like to have a lot of drama and stuff
Mm-hmm.
around me. I've always been that person who, if you bring that into my life, then you can be assured that you probably won't hear from me very often
Right.
or a
Yes.
lot. If you
Yes.
bring that in my space, I don't have time for that. Life is too short. We don't know. Tomorrow is not promised. We
No.
don't know when we're not going to be here anymore.
Right.
So I choose to just surround myself with positive energy. And I have nothing against you. I don't hate you. But
Mm-hmm.
Right.
if I don't
Right.
talk to you, maybe there's a reason why. Like I don't
Okay.
really have time.
Right.
I
I,
wanna.
I want you. I wish you well.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean that I need to necessarily have you in my circle.
I
Yeah.
wanna. I wanna add to that. I think I'm a firm believer that there is a version of consciousness that we all must be aware of, and for
Mm-hmm.
some, that those are their religious beliefs, and for others, maybe they're not spiritually connected, but there's a version of meditation that they use that kind
Mm-hmm.
of helps to keep them centered and grounded. But I will
Uh-huh.
say the world that we live in today is complex.
Very.
And I think sometimes, even when we turn things over in prayer, we may not understand the best way to interpret the message that we're receiving.
Mm-hmm.
So when you
Mm-hmm.
find that you are heavy in prayer and things still are not moving, if you feel stuck, if
Hmm.
you feel that you cannot center yourself again and you've been able to in the past, it doesn't hurt to reach out to someone else who may be able to take the message that you've been
Most
getting
definitely.
spiritually and
Mm-hmm.
Right.
offer you some clarification as
Mm-hmm.
far as maybe other things that you can incorporate into exercise, diet
Mm-hmm.
Right.
change.
Right.
Like
Mm-hmm.
you said, some toxic relationships you may need to
Mm-hmm.
shed.
Mm-hmm.
If you're living someplace where the energy is just not good, maybe you need to start looking at ways to change that. But
Yep.
I
Right.
think that, as you said, it's just time for people to really take a look at their mental health and how they feel,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't need another 3 years like the one we just came out of.
Yep.
Not at
It's
all.
time. It is time for us to make sure our relationships are bringing something to us,
Right.
Right.
not taking from us.
Right.
Completely
Well,
correct.
not to cut both of you off, but later on in the show, we're going to talk about 5 things that people can do every day to kind of
Mhm.
change the dynamics of that. Because, I tell people, and we're going to move on to hot topics. I've always been this person. If you don't start none, there will be none. But
That's
I
the
have found
truth.
out,
Yeah.
people love starting the poopy emoji with
Oh
me,
yeah.
and they scared because I'm definitely gonna come at you. I'm gonna come
Mm.
at you. I'm gonna clap back now. But if you don't start none, there will be none. Okay, and we
No.
just gonna leave it at that. All right. Well,
Right.
speaking of starting none, there will be none. 2024 started off with a bang. Actor and comedian Katt Williams, who's originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. I met Katt Williams many, many years ago. As you guys all know, he went on Shannon Sharp's podcast. You guys know that Mr. Sharp is or was a sports commentator,
He
best
is.
for
He is.
Undisputed, a sports talk show. He and Cat Williams spent 2.5 hours
Mm-hmm.
ranting about Hollywood, the media machine. Honey, they touched everybody, everything, and then some. So now
Mm-hmm.
people have been saying, was it right?
Mm,
Was it wrong? Or was Cat Williams just telling his truth? I'm gonna
mm,
start with
mm.
you first, Dion. Ladies first, go right
Okay.
ahead.
I I didn't even get through the whole thing. I love Cat Williams. I'm just gonna say it. I love Cat Williams. Always have loved Cat Williams. I have seen him live before. So I just there's something about Cat because I said Cat has always been Cat. He has always been the same person. If people are ever surprised by Cat, I don't know why they should be because Cat is seems to be he just seems to always been the same person always throughout whatever we've seen since he's been in the public eye. He just always has been the same person saying that, speaking his truth. He's
Mm-hmm.
Right,
always been that person. So
right.
there was nothing to me surprising outside of he just wanted to share some stuff that was, I guess, look, he was getting stuff off his chest. As he said, if you don't bring me up in conversation, almost similar to you are, if you don't bring me up in conversation, then, or if you don't say something that I know that maybe you're speaking not so authentically about, then I'm
Mm.
not going to talk about it. And that's how Kat rolled off in that conversation. He was basically like, look, these people are on your show, Club Shay Shay. I want to come on here so that I can say what I was going to say. And he just
Right.
went off on a. Now, saying that, I do believe there's probably a good portion of that he probably was absolutely speaking truth, that he was
Mm-hmm.
really being
Oh
honest,
yeah.
telling people the
Yes.
truth. But then there are other things that you go, I'm not gonna say you were that I think you're lying, but I think that was probably a joke in that moment. I don't know though. But the thing is, Cat is Cat. So
Mm-hmm.
either you love him or you don't. But I love Cat. I can't help it. And I mean, when you think about for those that if you are not a sports person, maybe you didn't know Shannon Sharp. He's been around
Right.
for a long time because
Right.
he's an ex athlete and he's been commentating for years. So for
Right.
those who may not have known Shannon, well, Shannon just got a whole bunch of
Oh
followers
Yeah.
yeah.
and
Yes, he
views
did.
based on that one interview. They
Yes,
say
he did.
that's
Yes,
been the
he
most
did.
watched interview on his platform ever
Right.
since he started it. So he should just be thanking Cat and tell him to come on every other week.
Well, with that being said, before you say anything, Philip, let me give you guys a little bit more background. So, Cat Williams was born Micah Cat Williams, September 2nd, 1971. So, he is a Virgo, as I told you guys, from Cincinnati, Ohio. He played Money Mike in Friday After Next. He also was a recurring guest on Wilding Out, where he portrayed
Mm-hmm,
Bobby Shaw. He was on My Wife and Kids. He
mm-hmm.
was in the Boondocks. He Norbit,
He's talented.
Glory. I got to give the brother credit. He
He's
gave Melba
talented.
Moore the $75,000
That's right. That's right.
to be
Hands
able to get
down.
her
Yes.
star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
You
So
got
I
to
got to
respect
give
him.
him that
You got to
credit.
respect him.
I'm gonna let Dr. Phil give his take on this, and then I'm gonna tell you guys my personal connection to Cat
Mm.
Williams, and then there's also, a little scuttlebutt about Cat and Ludacris.
I
So
Mm.
know.
go
I
ahead, Dr.
know.
Phil. What do you think about the Cat Williams situation? Too much, not enough, or sharing his truth?
To quote the legendary Millie Jackson, I just feel like he said he had to say it.
That's
Right.
right.
Uh, I really believe he is coming through an era where we have not been dealing in truth, just in
Yep.
general.
Mm-hmm.
And I think on the heels of a lot of things, Taraji P. Henderson, some other things that have popped up in entertainment recently, I think he felt it was time for somebody who can tell the truth to tell, because everybody can't tell the truth, because he's
Cannot.
basically telling you some of them are being pimped, because he said the ones that were making all this money based on promises of movies and what happens when they don't do what they're supposed to do. I like a lot of what he had to say, because it's going to help young people remember that all that glitters is not gold.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Hello.
I think he brought to the forefront the depths that some of the people that we worship or look up to in celebrities are willing to go to for that fame. Um, I do agree with you. I think some of it was really accurate and timely and really powerful. And then there were some areas where I couldn't figure out whether he was telling the truth or he was just lost in the story. But I wish more people would come forward and just say, "Hey, this industry has its flaws. Let me tell you what's going on. Let me tell you how people have sacrificed themselves. Make sure before you get into this, you understand." Because when he talked about Epstein, I believe him. I believe that's what he did. I believe he told him he would perform fellatio on him. I do believe that. I just think that it's time that somebody like him comes out and tells the truth so people can see, man, some of our entertainers have gone through a lot to be on TV and be on stage.
Well, and the thing is that Cat speaking his truth, but hello, people. This none of this stuff is new in terms
No.
of under the sun, people doing things to make it or to get to a certain place. So that
Hmm.
part always gets me when people don't really believe that stuff. I'm like, come on now. You know, there's things they talk about since the beginning of time, the casting couch and all that. Hello,
But
with the beginning of huh?
culturally, we like to sweep things under the rug and pretend they don't
I know,
exist.
and we need to stop with that because you know doggone well some of this
Yes.
stuff. You know this. Well, if you even look at just, and this takes it on another arc. Sorry, but when you think about Scientology,
Right,
Hmm.
right,
right? When you think
right.
about Scientology, how many well-known people are Scientologists? And the beginnings of Scientology. If you never watched that documentary that was on HBO Max, you need to watch it
Hmm.
called Going Clear.
Hmm.
You need to watch that doc
Right.
because I knew, and it's interesting because everybody remembers those commercials for freaking, what was it? Dianetics or whatever.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
yeah,
Everybody remember.
A-
You grew
And
up
Ron
remembering
Hubbard.
them.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
Yes.
You
right.
grew up
Yes.
knowing
Yeah.
and seeing those doggone commercials. Did
Hmm.
it make me run out and want to get some? Heck no.
No.
It made me say, would you stop peddling something? That's the vibe that I got. But of course, that's not how a lot of people took it,
No.
obviously, because then Scientology was built. But
Hmm.
it's like when you think about how people can reel you in, you know, there are a lot of things going on behind the scenes that allow people or have opened up the doors for certain celebrities to be successful. Y'all got to
Well,
be
Oh yeah.
crazy if you
now,
don't think that's
now,
the truth.
now that you brought up Scientology, I want to bring up the fact of Illuminati. And
Yeah,
Hmm.
as we
that
all
too.
know, right, but here's the deal. So you know, Cat Williams said that
Mm-hmm.
Ludacris, Chicago's
Hmm.
very own,
Mm-hmm.
Ludacris is somebody who I love, adore, appreciate, and respect. Somebody who I had very close ties to in the early forms of his career before he made it really big. But Cat Williams was saying that, you know, if it wasn't, you know, once Ludacris got into the Illuminati,
Mm-hmm.
he was able to get the movie deals, get, you
Mm-hmm.
know, get to make the big career that he made. What do you all think about that? You know what I'm saying? Because that's pretty much like the Scientology. I had heard the same
Yeah.
thing too.
Well, I'll just say this. I agree with something that he said about gatekeepers. I think
Mm-hmm.
that we don't
Oh,
all have
completely.
access to the gatekeepers. We want to call them Illuminati, you want to call them whoever you want to call them. I really believe that this also connects with when you talk about mental health. I think you have so many people that are so traumatized by the lives they've lived
Mm-hmm.
that it's easy to offer them things under the guise of this will be better for you. And as long as they can be included and they can shed that past, sometimes people are willing to stoop and do things that they wouldn't otherwise do if they were in a better place as far as their mental health is concerned. And
I
that's what
agree.
Cat Williams
That's
keeps
real.
trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
He
Right.
That's
keeps
real.
saying I had choices. Now,
right.
like you said, most of what he's saying, I think it was true.
Oh
Honestly,
yeah.
I think he held back some
Oh
of the
yeah.
stuff that was
I agree.
probably really would have floored everybody.
You
But
could
Now,
see
when
on
he
his
said,
face, Phil. You could see on his
you
face
could,
the
because
way
right,
that
sometimes
he
it was like he
answered
would
certain
stop
things.
himself.
He was like,
Oh,
hmm.
I better not say that. It was like,
right.
oops, can't
Let me
cross
hold
that
it.
line.
Right.
Hmm.
Yes, absolutely. Now, I'm going to show you guys a picture of Cat Williams,
I love it.
Gabrielle Union,
I
and
love
Ah,
it.
myself.
I
And
love
this
it.
was actually at one of Ludacris's parties. Ludacris
mm,
is probably one of the most giving guys I know. And this was
That's what
many
I've
years
heard.
ago. Cat Williams and Gabrielle were two amazingly kind, sweet people. So that's why when all of this and he started giving his testimony,
Yeah.
I was like, listen, I know what type of dude he was when I met.
Hmm.
And if
Hmm.
he's not changed, and that
Yep.
evening when we hung out and gambled and did all that at the Ludacris Foundation event, then I know this man is telling the truth. Here's
he's
the
telling
deal.
the truth.
I want my own personal Cat Williams moment. I think a Cat Williams moment is worth more than gold. Do you understand
Hello.
me?
Hello.
Because when you are able to really shame people,
Mm,
tell people who have been wrong, what they've done wrong, and you know you've not been wrong, to me, that is the greatest reward on top of any reward that you can ever get. Because to me, it's you're getting closure and you're freeing your soul. Now, that's just
mm.
my take on it, but I don't know.
Mhm.
I mean, I could be wrong.
I think you're right.
Honestly, my thing is if you got upset, that tells me something.
Right. Yes. Yes. It
I'm
makes
not
you
saying, I mean, obviously we will never know
right.
because Cat is speaking his truth. But and as Helena said, Monique, she thinks Monique spoke on gatekeepers. We know there are gatekeepers out there. We know
Hmm.
doggone well there are
Hmm.
gatekeepers out there.
Right.
It's the
Right.
truth.
Oh,
Come on now.
absolutely.
We know that.
Absolutely.
And there are people who will easily, start flapping. But see, Steve Harvey is a whole nother thing, and I'm
He
just
Oh
gonna
really
my,
do
is.
this.
He
oh my
really
Wait,
is.
goodness.
He really
and I'm
is.
just gonna do this
Yes,
because
he really
people
good.
who
He
worked
really
with
is.
him,
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just gonna do this. I'm not
Yes.
gonna say a word. I'm not saying one word about that. I'm leaving that alone. I'm not even talking.
Anybody who came through Chicago and was
Mm-mm.
trying to make a name for themselves, you better believe my hands have touched them at some
Right.
point or another. And the funniest thing is about people who are famous now, they are
Mm-hmm.
very quick to forget the people who helped them in their
Yep.
time of need, when something
Yep.
was wrong,
That's
when
right.
they weren't as big as who they are.
Mm-hmm.
There had to been somebody to help make you who you are. And
Almost
so
definitely.
people are very quick to forget that. But then again, that's why I feel 2024 is the year of Cat Williams moments.
Hmm.
I'm just telling y'all, it's the
Yep.
year to free it. It's the year to free yourself and free that demon and that burden that's been riding you for so long. And that's
But
just my take on it.
But I
That's,
want you to dig this. The one thing that's really cool about what Cat Williams was able to do is it showed you that he didn't owe any debts.
Oh,
If he could come on
hello.
stage and say it like that, he doesn't
right.
owe
Hello.
anybody. So what
That's
you
right.
are going to start seeing is the people who don't have anything that they have to pay back,
Right.
they're going to start speaking because now shall we say the cat, no pun intended, is out of the bag. When
Hello.
it comes down to it, if you can stand up and say that and get up and live your life and keep doing what you're doing and you're not worried about anything happening,
We keep it
see,
moving.
you had a zero balance on that credit card.
That's right.
So
Right.
it'll be
Very good.
interesting to see who else can do the same thing.
All right. Well, speaking of, we're gonna go on to our next topic. For you guys that are on social media, much like myself, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, the hottest new couple that everybody is talking about is Miss Netta and Charles. So Miss Netta emerged on TikTok in 2021, and Miss Netta used to do prank phone calls and skits based on run-in with neighbors and confrontations over her men. Well, Miss Netta and Charles have become so famous now that they have gotten a television show deal. You name it, Miss Netta and Charles. Here's a clip of Miss Netta and Charles. There they are right there. This has been very interesting because I've watched all this unfold. Just interesting in many different ways. I'm not gonna lie, I thought Charles was on the spectrum.
Right.
I had a lot of, I did, child. I
Oh, my
thought Charles
goodness.
was on the spectrum, honey. I'm just gonna, and I'm gonna tell you why I thought Charles was on the spectrum. But these two have literally blown up. When I say to you, TV deals, all kind of deals, and they did it all by showing their relationship on social media.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's my question tonight. Could you do it? Would you do it? And then I want to talk a little bit about Charles and Miss Netta. Dion is sitting there like, child, I'd rather not. But
Yeah, I really, you know, I'm sitting here like I'm clutching my pearls. I would rather not, darling. But what I was gonna say is, because I'm just gonna go there. There's nothing wrong with being on the spectrum. We
No.
know that to our
No.
people on the spectrum, we love you.
Right.
Saying that, I didn't know anything about Charles and Miss Netta until you put it out there. I knew nothing. I saw a little bit, and then I'm trying to understand the popularity, I guess, behind it. When you describe what Miss Netta was doing or how she became popular, I'm thinking to myself, but isn't that a skit that's been done over and over and over again when you talk about prank and you think about going way, way, way back, whether it's Martin Lawrence, whether it's Ricky Smiley, whether it's, you know, people in the 80s here in Chicago doing prank. So it's kind of like, is this new?
Well, keep in mind, for Black folks, for us to break into the entertainment business, we've got to do something outlandish. Katt Williams said in his interview how Hollywood would turn men gay by telling them they had to put on a dress.
Make them put on a dress. It's true. It's true.
Right.
Yeah. You see a lot of that. It's the truth. That's true.
Oh, the whole Miss Netta and Charles thing, because Miss Netta has now come out as she was born a man, which I kind of knew that, but then God forgive me, I'm gonna say it because this is the Real Chat Daddy show. But I know women that look like Miss Netta. I really do. Bless their hearts, they look more like they daddy than they mama. But you know, I do know women that look like Miss Netta. So at first I kind of was like, oh, that's sweet that he would fall in love with this very unique looking woman.
See, I wasn't even fooled by it. I just wasn't. I'm sorry.
Well, but then the reason why I thought Charles was on the spectrum, and you guys know I'm an ADA ambassador, so I'm not trying to talk about people, but on this show we keep it real, is that every time she would bring Charles that food, Charles would look so disinterested or so, you know, buffooned that it just didn't make good sense. He was more like a DL dude or a dude that somebody said, now come on, if you play along, I'll give you $20. That's what it looked like to me. If you play along, Mama will give you $20. Dr. Phil, where you at with all of this?
I thought he looked more like he was doing it to make her happy. And because I've seen her before Charles came along, and when she would do those prank calls, and like you said, that goes back to when Lily Tomlin was on Laughing and calling people on the phone.
Exactly.
So I feel that what she found, Miss Netta, was momentum. Then she brought him into it. Then they realized, remember what we just said about Katt. We realized that she found what? A key to the gate. So once she was able to twist that key, since she loves this man, she brought both of them through it.
I hear you.
So her story is not more about the cooking or the food or how he looks. The story is that she took something simple at home, and according to what she said in that interview, they now have a reality TV show that they're going to do.
Yes.
You know, whatever she's like at home, like she said, of course people hate her, because what did she do? What did Katt Williams say? Something that she wasn't even supposed to be able to do, because the way she looked, how dark she was, the way she sounded. But she found her truth, which is what she presented. And that's what people want to see.
Well, and that's the thing, though. It's not like I definitely don't have anything against her. I just was like, why is this popular? So I'm like, go after your bag if you're able to get some money, because you're not doing anything wrong. So go do your thing, girl. Go do your thing, Miss Netta. I have nothing against you. I just couldn't understand why it was popular because it's just not entertainment to me. But I'm not the one watching. But girl, go do your thing. Go do your thing. Charles and Miss Netta, go get your bag. And
Well,
I'll come
recently,
over and not be a guest, but I'll come over and say
recently, Miss Netta did a video. This is what pushed them over the top of
Oh
following.
man.
She did a video in November when she served Charles a delicious steak lunch. You know, her thing is, Charles,
Right.
your lunch is ready. That's her thing, right?
Right.
Well, when she did it, the video racked up over 9,000 comments, and everybody fell in love with Miss Netta. Right now, Miss Netta has 6.2 million followers
Oh my
on
goodness.
TikTok.
wow.
On Instagram, she has 461,000 followers
Okay.
on Instagram. So Charles and Miss Netta have blown up. People are hiring them to do commercials, ads, doing all of that. And my last public relationship, I tried to tell my ex, like, hey, me and you could probably end up doing this and blowing up really big. But honey, when you're dealing with Fisher Price mine, they don't get that. When when you're dealing with kitty scissors, they don't get that. But I was like, the dynamic of our relationship, people would love to watch it. Me being damn near in a senior citizen home and you just being out of college, they would love to watch that. But again, when you're dealing with Fisher Price, that's what you get, toys.
And
So
I really want to just say it before you finish. I think that it is the wholesomeness of it,
Right.
because it's,
Right.
even though it's different and
Right.
it's different, it's almost what people have been doing since the beginning of time. She fixed her man something to eat.
do you understand
And
me? Right.
it was nothing complicated, and she loved doing it, and he appeared to love eating it. And off of that, man, just think of all those TikTok followers she got. Shoot, she's probably shaking her chest every day talking about come get your lunch.
Baby,
Okay.
they
I'm not
done
mad
painted
at her.
her up.
I'm not mad
No,
at her one bit.
No,
not at
I'm not
all.
either. I'm not either. All right. Well, congratulations to Miss Netta and Charles. Y'all doing the damn thing. If I find me another boo thing, we finna clean up. We met a lady at WGN yesterday who was a elementary school principal. Had a bunch of young children, started doing things on Instagram and Pinterest. Her followers were so big yesterday to the point that she only does those two platforms, that she is no longer a principal. She is being paid strictly from social media.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
I met a woman in the grocery store a couple of weeks ago that everybody knew the lady and they were speaking to her. And I'm not used to that. I'm used to people knowing me in the grocery store. Everybody knew this lady, a Hispanic woman. So the cashier was like, so how's the baby? And, she was like, oh, the baby's fine. And so I said, ma'am, I noticed everybody knows you. She says, I have a 3-year-old daughter with Down syndrome. And she is a social media superstar by all the things she does, all of the outfits she wears. And I said, really? I said, how well does your daughter do? She says, my daughter averaged about $2,000 a video.
What?
Well,
Wait,
Wow.
child. Pookie, your dinner is ready.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Baby, look, I'm looking for a Pookie that's ready to go viral. How about that? How about that?
Shoot.
All right. Well, speaking of going viral, gospel music songstress Kim Burrell recently faced some backlash after she was telling churchgoers to hush during one of her solos. She was performing. You know how she is. She come in with all this narrative and the moaning and the wailing and all of that. And so one lady started to sing with her. And during the singing with her, Kim said to her, shh, hush. Let God use that mask you got on your face. Hush. So now, Dion, you are an amazing singer. You sing you are your church's choir, honey. Hate to say that. But some days I look and I'll be like, wait, that's the Dion orchestra back there. What do you think about what happened with Kim Burrell?
Man, that just I hated to see that. I really did. I hated to see that because, man, I love Kim Burrell's voice. I think she has such a beautiful voice. But that was so disappointing to see that because I'm sorry, we don't have control over if God is really using you to sing, you have to be. I'm not thinking about people singing with me. I don't care because if they feel something, that's beautiful. I'm
Mm-hmm.
singing because God gave me a gift. I'm going to use it. But you sing because you also want people to feel something. So if someone is singing or feels like they're singing along, if anything, it makes you feel blessed and proud
Mm-hmm.
because somebody is feeling something. They're not going to sound like you. And it's not about that. And it's not going to, I mean, obviously, I'm not Kim Burrell, but I've been blessed with a voice that I use on a weekly basis. And I'm grateful that people feel a lot when they hear me sing. But I'm not standing there saying, oh, how dare you? If anything, if there's something in the song, I'm like, sing with me. Like, I just, that says to me, there's something going on, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
when you maybe are getting too
Mm-mm.
internal and
Mm-mm.
listening to your own humanness and you
Mm-mm.
forget about what you're singing for and it's about
Amen.
you and it shouldn't be about
That's
you.
right.
So it's so disappointing because I love Kim's voice, but that just really turned me off completely. I was
Yeah,
like, what? Are you
she
kidding
said
me?
quite a few things. This is not her first
Yeah,
time.
and that's the thing. That's the
Right,
Yeah.
thing,
right.
Art. This is
Yes,
not her first rodeo. When you
I
yes.
heard stuff,
I
I'm like,
I,
dang.
I struggled because in the beginning, I kind of said, okay, well, maybe she's looking at it a different way. But I said, well, this is not a concert. She said she was in church and
Hello.
basically she was ministering through the music. Well, if God came to her with the
Right.
voice and the
Come on.
song and the ability to
Come on.
carry the tune and
Come
not
on.
choke while she was singing, didn't couldn't wouldn't he come to other people in the church and say,
Right. Right.
join him
Right.
and raise this higher?
Right.
And she was lucky because there's some sisters in the church that would have offered her some words, and
Yeah.
I don't know if they
That's
would have
true.
been. I don't know
That's
if
true.
how how they would have seemed in the church, but I just felt that what she did, she could have done it a different way. Maybe inviting a woman to join her, or
I don't
taking a
know.
different register, or doing
Yeah.
something that would have brought the woman along, not singled her out.
Because if I'm not mistaken, good gospel music as well as any church music is call and response. You know what I'm saying? That to me is what
Every
it
day.
is. It's call and response. I mean, when I'm working a funeral and if somebody is singing, baby, I'm getting ready to get happy. I'm getting ready to get excited.
That's
I
right.
Because we are celebrating the life of whoever
Mhm.
this person was. The last service I worked, one of my colleagues was a vocalist, and baby, she got up there and tore it up. I should wear a crown to the point
Mhm.
that I booked her for my funeral. I said,
Mm.
girl, whenever my funeral is, honey, whenever it is, you got the job. You
Mm.
understand me? Because, to me, it's a call and response. It's always
Yeah.
been like that.
Yep.
Negro spirituals.
That's right.
I was
That's right.
raised
Always.
Lutheran, the Lutheran hymns, whatever
Always.
the case may be. So
Mhm.
I'm not getting that. I'm just not,
Mm-mm.
but I think it's a Kim Burrell thing. I think it's her and her, who she is and all of that.
I mean, obviously, um, it just the whole thing is just disappointing, and if I don't understand when you feel like you get to a point where don't sing when I'm singing. Really? Let your
Yeah,
mask work for you?
right.
Really?
Right.
Girl,
I,
I
No,
I
was
was
like,
just
no, she
the
stunned by that comment. I was
right.
that
really
was the
stunned
that
by
was the
that.
comment. Why
Thank
don't you let that
you.
mask work?
Let your
Basically,
mask
shut up.
work for you.
Do
Really?
you understand me? Do you understand me?
That
But
Mama just
just
it's a
blew.
right.
it's a teachable moment. If she's really in the church the way that
Mm,
she wants you to believe, I would hope her minister comes to her
Yeah.
and says,
Well,
I hear you. I
yeah.
hear that you had a story to tell and you had a way you wanted to do it. But we don't exclude here. We include.
Right,
Right.
right,
And
right,
Exactly.
and maybe if they can offer her those words in a teachable way, she will remember that she was at church, she wasn't at Carnegie Hall.
right,
But you
right.
but we know, and I'm the last point on this, but we know that's what you see a lot of with some of these bigger churches too, right?
Right.
You see more performances, right?
Hmm.
Other than being used. And however you want to, but you're singing from the heart. It's
Supposed to
not.
be.
We always say we're not here. This isn't a performance. This is worship.
Hmm.
Right. Yes,
So
yes,
if you feel something, okay.
Do it. Right. I
right.
mean, how many
Yeah,
times have we been in how many times have we been in a church where you've heard that voice of the person who can't sing?
Oh
And you
yeah,
and you just find a way to nod and
that's right.
sway and
That's
raise your
exactly
head,
right.
whatever you have to do
That's
until
right.
they're done. Right.
Yep.
years ago I was a guest at a funeral, and
Hmm.
it was one of my friends' relatives, and they were telling me, they said, "Oh, the lady that's getting ready to sing, she was, she used to sing like Mary J. Blige when she was young." Honey, that lady got up and started singing. It was so horrible that the nurses came over and thought I was weeping.
Ugh.
I was
Stop.
laughing from that lady singing. They thought I was weak. They was fanning and patting on me, and I couldn't, because the lady sounded like somebody had stepped on a crow. It was
Stop.
Oh.
it was it was
Stop.
child. It was mess. It was a mess.
All
But
these people that think
right,
they're sopranos when they're really
Oh,
baritones.
oh my
right,
God.
right,
Right.
right. Oh my God. All right. Well, before we get out of here tonight, we're going to talk about something that is really big here in the city of Chicago. And then we got some other things, and we're going to close out the show. Great show so far. For those of you all that are just joining us, welcome to the relaunch of the Real Chat Daddy Show. We are here every Tuesday night, 7:30 to whenever we get tired. Tuesday night is the best night for most of me and my guests and people. And so we'll be back on Tuesdays to at least get you through the winter time of giving you something fun and exciting to watch on a Tuesday night. Remember, you can always watch encore performances on YouTube, Facebook. Make sure you're following me, liking me, all of those great things. All right. So last story that we're going to talk about tonight is January is Poverty Awareness Month. And so I want to discuss the pros and cons of the migrant situation here in Chicago.
Mm,
Mayor Brandon Johnson's administration, for the third time, has postponed the enforcement of the 60-day shelter stay policy for our new immigrants who are here in Chicago. As you guys all know, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of new citizens here in the city of Chicago. Anywhere you go, from the grocery store, the expressway exit, to just everywhere, you have new people who are residents of Chicago. And so I want to talk about the fact of, what do you guys think? Now, let me say this first. The new migrants are able to be cooks, window washers, and sell candy until they're able to get their work permits. And we're looking at more than 34,000 migrants who have arrived in Chicago since August of 2022.
Mm.
Dion, you and I are in the business of loving and caring and doing all this for people, but it's in a special type of situation
yeah.
where we now have a whole new population. And so, what do you think about all of this in the migrant situation here in Chicago?
I mean, the whole thing is just sad, especially because of the fact that we have these states, which will not be named, who don't want to do their due diligence, who don't want to give back, who don't want to love on people like they're supposed to. But they decide that they want to put people on buses and send them to other states. And we're one of the states. And we're taking them because we genuinely care about people. But saying that, there's only so much space you have, right? Or there are only so many resources. Yes, we are an incredibly large city, but we also have so many organizations. And so we all are having to rethink things. We're having to think outside the box. And this is not a one stop, this is not a, one decision is going to fix or is going to magically solve this problem. It's not. And I think it's going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take a lot of resources, and it's going to take people stepping up from different cities within the state, different towns within the state to help out on this situation. But what would help is if the whole country would actually do their part, if these other states would actually do their part and actually help to house some of these people, because we have a lot of people who were houseless before these other beautiful humans came here. There are a lot of people who are dealing with their own issues who are already here, who are already under resourced, right? So now you have even more people who need support. It's not this whole situation. I can't sit here and tell you what to do. I don't know what to do, especially because that's not my industry where I work directly. But when it comes to wanting to just help people, I think most of us want to help people. But it's what can we do when a lot of us are just trying to keep living, right? But you want to support in the ways that you can support. But this is a whole nother problem that it's going to be hard to try to figure this out. It's been hard for a minute now.
It is. It is. Philip, you and I both live in areas where we've seen a heavy concentration of the migrants. I've had friends of mine tell me, child, I done got the basement cleaned out for $50. I done got the garage cleaned out for $50. I know a couple of people who have hired them to be housekeepers. And here's the deal. I'm not opposed to helping. But my problem is I need to find me one that's single and ready to mingle. Because honey, you come to bring in wife and kids with you, child, that ain't gonna work. I ain't got the space for it.
I think the struggle is, Illinois, Chicago, the various cities that are willing to participate. We do have really big shoulders, and we're really open to helping people who are probably leaving conditions that we would not want to find ourselves in either. But when you talk about, this period of time being something where poverty is a focus, you've got people that go to work every day. And the nature of rent nowadays is $2,000-3,000 a month, and you've got people who are working and they still would consider themselves living below the poverty level by the time they pay their expenses. What you're running into is compassion fatigue, because people want to help people, but they can't even get the help for themselves. There's so many people that would love to tell their landlord, would you please go down $500 on my rent so that I can make sure my kids all have their fees for school. So it's one of these things where when we look at what we're trying to do, um, I don't know if we have the bandwidth. I think we're stretched so far, not just for financial resources, but the emotional issues that we're having with doing all these things for people. And there's so many people that are here every day who've been walking the street. How many people do we see that are couch surfing that we know? People that you always see them at somebody's house and they really don't look like they're domiciled. They're just there. And they need help too. So it's a really difficult thing. I feel for our migrant friends, but I
So
also
one of
feel
our
for the people here.
one of our viewers says, and my elderly age 70-year-old client is facing eviction because of the funds being diverted. She has a housing choice voucher, but is not a priority. And I know somebody else that's in that particular situation as
And
well.
that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. It's like you can't turn your back on people who need your help now.
Right.
And because of the whole situation is just horrible.
Our good friend Betty Jones. I love Betty. Hey, Betty, so good to see you this evening. She said, I work as a regional property manager in an affordable housing sector. Although Chicago is large, we also have a housing shortage. We also already had a homeless population which is not, you're absolutely right. You
That's
know,
right.
I'm in a particular situation that's unique and different right now. And I said, honey, thou shalt not be moved. I will not be moved because I look at the fact that a 1-bedroom unit down the street from where I work at is $26.55
Exactly.
a month.
Exactly.
That does not include parking. Do you know the tricks I would have to do to get $26.55 a month? Child, I look.
But it doesn't include utilities,
Thank you.
No,
and
Thank you.
no.
and
Thank
when
Right.
you.
you look at and the thing that really breaks your heart is I do, you've got people coming from Venezuela where it was
Mm-hmm.
hot, and
Yeah,
they were here on the 15th of January and
I
16th,
know.
where it was
Freeze.
beyond belief,
Thank
so
you.
definitely there's a need. But then your person that's 70 years old, you know, they can't see it that way because in
Mm-hmm.
their minds, they've made it to this point. Who's going to give me a hand? I need
Right,
a hand. I can't go
right.
back out here and do any kind of, I can't cook. I can't
Mm-hmm.
stand up and clean anybody's house anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where you're going to start seeing some interesting things when it comes time to vote, because I
Yeah,
don't know if we all feel the way people think we do about the situation.
that's true. That's
All right,
true.
here's another comment from our friend Betty Jones. She says, I didn't see the entire comment about the 70-year-old that's being evicted, but there is help for her. If they have any been to court already, a judge will refer her to a court-based rental assistance to avoid homelessness, and no one wants to. Right now, that I
I
have
know
found
that's
that out
right. I
recently.
know that's
That's
right.
the same way if a senior has a nasty and dirty apartment, there's nothing they can do to help with that situation. They just kind of let it go because it's a senior person. So that's why a lot of these seniors do not want to move or be
Mm.
upset or displaced,
Mm-hmm.
any of that. Matter of fact, Tillman, connect with Betty Jones, and I can connect you too if I need to, since I know both of you all personally. But thank you, Betty. We appreciate that. And the mayor is Ghost. Where is he? Child, that's a whole nother story. I don't know. We're gonna leave that where it's at. All right. Well, great feedback. Anything, so here's the deal. Here are the pros about the migrants being here. The pros is that we are welcoming people. We're trying to help people. I want to thank all of the faith-based organizations
Mm-hmm.
that have gone above and beyond to feed
Mm-hmm.
these people, clothe these people, and to
Mm-hmm.
house these people. To God be
Mm-hmm.
the glory for what you have done. Now, the cons is we don't know what these people have been through. Do you know a lot of these people have walked from Venezuela? So you have a lot of disease, sickness. A lot of the places where they're staying is a lot of vermin and roaches,
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
like that. These people are trying to get used. The expressway exit I get off of every day when I go into the office, there is a woman with a Parker coat on and flip-flops and socks. I gave up flip-flops and socks or slides and socks once the first snow hits the ground. That lady was standing there in the freezing cold in those
Hmm.
slides and socks. I
Mm.
couldn't imagine. I just couldn't imagine. You know what I'm saying? I'm wearing 2 pair of socks, shoes now, everything. So I don't know. My heart really goes out to these
It
people.
does. It really does.
Mine does too, because I think a lot of what's happening also is the ones that where it's really getting to be too much. They're finding their way to the emergency rooms, and
Mm-hmm.
that's going to cause
Mm-hmm.
the hospital systems to be overburdened with trying to
Mm-hmm.
manage the
Mm-hmm.
situations. It's a big issue, but we really don't have an answer, and it just doesn't seem like we're even close to getting one.
No,
Mm-mm.
no,
And that
not at
was
all.
something that I saw a story about, and I'm not sure if it was Oakland or I can't remember where it was, but that was part of the problem. Was
Hmm.
now that you're seeing so much happening that the medical system is completely at a place where they're stuck now.
Here we go,
Hmm.
They
right here,
they're in a
right here.
crisis situation. And
Yep.
I can't remember what city where this was, but they were just talking about how because of course, they can't afford to pay.
No.
No,
because they don't
no.
have any income coming in. So that was that's
Right.
what you're seeing too. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
depending on what's wrong, they can't even there's no place to discharge them.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have a home to return to. You can't discharge people depending on what they have to a
Yeah.
shelter all the time. They don't have coverage. You can't send them
Mm-hmm.
to a nursing home. So it's like you let them stay in the hospital until question mark.
Right.
Right, right. Okay, all right. Well, very good comment on that. That was excellent. Our hearts go out. I want everybody to have somewhere safe and warm to live. I want people to be felt appreciated and comfort. For those of you all that have young people that don't want to get a job, too lazy, living in your house, not doing the right thing, honey, you ain't got to worry. Ain't gonna be no jobs for you no more. Because once these people get these work permits, they gonna been and took the job. So that's how that works. All right, Dion, let's talk a little bit more about Guest House, and let's talk about the fact that we are looking for runners to participate
Oh
in the
gosh.
2024 Chicago Marathon.
Yes, we are. And we have, truthfully, we have a little over 24 hours left to register runners for this year's the 2024 Bank of America Chicago Marathon to be a
Mm.
part of Team Guest House. We need you to register ASAP today or tomorrow by 11:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. That is the deadline. If we do not if we can't fill our slots, they are returned back to the marathon, and we don't want that. We were blessed enough to get an increase this year to 15 slots. Right now, we are still looking for a good 8, 9 people. So that tells you it's been a little slow. I don't know why. And maybe it's the weather has made people rethink training. But one thing we tell you is we are a wonderful team. As I told Art at the beginning of the conversation, we had 2 people who saw us on the actual daytime Chicago show, the interview yesterday morning. We had 2 people who actually called and they signed up yesterday, which was amazing.
Oh,
So
wow.
we still have slots left. We asked, look in your Rolodex. I'm going old school. Look in your
Mm.
phone, look in your email list, see if there's anyone in your contact base that may be a runner. If they are, if this is something that you think they want to do, please send them our way. Guesthousechicago.org. There is a slider, there is an image. You can go right there and just click on that if you want to register. We are a charity partner, which means that you have to raise funds for us, but you have until October 13th to raise those funds. So you have almost the whole year. 1750 is what you need to raise for us. So $1,750. But when you think about separating that and just asking people, maybe you're getting $50 from, 100 plus people. So just think about it in simple terms. We provide complimentary training. So you get training from CES and Fleet Feet. We give you a running singlet. We give you support and love. One person who was on our team last year actually emailed me the loveliest note that said, "You all have been so kind. Your communication has been so inspiring and encouraging." That's what you want to hear. But that's because that's what we are. That's who we are. That's how we feel because we care about you. If you're training with us, you will feel loved. So please consider it, please, and spread the word. But we only have until tomorrow night. So we have to get this. Otherwise, our team is going to be reduced.
Okay.
So please.
Well, guess what? I got
Yes,
something for everybody. I need you guys to take out your smartphone just like this, take it out, and all you have to do is scan that
that's
URL
right.
code right there. If you
That's
scan
right.
that code, that will allow you to be a part of all of the things that we have going on. Just scan that URL code, and that's all you have to do. That's all you have to do, my friends. That easy, that simple. That's how you can participate with us at Guest House, and we would appreciate you for that. You could be a part. Oh, this ain't a pre-recorded show. I told you. Now, it's a live show, honey. This is a live show.
We're not really here right now.
Right. I gotta hire somebody to do the behind the scenes stuff. Right. I'm getting off Reddit. Right. So yes, very good. Well, we hope that works out very well. Brother Philip, Dr. Phil, what do you want to say in closing tonight? Anything you want to tell everybody about?
I want everybody to make sure that just as they go for a checkup to their PCP, they should be considering and thinking about their annual checkup. Make sure that while you're there, you talk about some of the things that are concerning you that maybe you haven't talked to anyone else about, and see if the doctor recommends maybe you following up with a therapist or somebody to help you process further what you might be struggling with. There's never anything wrong with asking. If you don't ask, you'll never know. And sometimes that is the one thing you need. That answer will make the difference in how you feel. And if you can remove anxiety and feelings of depression and help manage some of the trauma that our bodies have recorded throughout our lives, again, it will make 2024 a much better year.
Oh, I love it. I do. 2024 is the year of all things epic. It really is. Dion, last but not least, my dear, I'd like to know your closing thoughts. You always end the show on your own accord, and you've done a great job. And before you both leave, don't move. I want to take a picture of tonight as well, too. So, Dion, what do you want to say to everybody in closing?
Well, a lot of times I always end with a song. So I'm going to go low today. But as people are thinking about all the things that, we have going on in this world, I'm gonna do a little Donnie McClurkin and say, "Speak to my heart, Lord. Give me your holy word. If I can't hear from you, then I'll know what to do. I won't go alone. I'll never be on my own. Just let your spirit guide and let your word abide. Speak to my heart, Lord. Yeah, give me your holy word. If I can't hear from you, then I'll know what to do. I won't go alone. I never go on my own. Just let your spirit guide and let your word abide. Speak to my heart."
Very good. Are you kidding me? That was amazing. Yes, that came from your soul. That was
yes.
Very good. Well, Dion Nicole Smith, you always do a great job. You really, really do. I got to get better on my editing and my control skill. Lord, I don't know. Look, my little computer, look, you ain't used me in months, dude.
Right.
Thank you. My computer, look, dude, you ain't used me in months. I got to get
okay.
Right. Well, beautiful show. I want to thank you guys both for being here tonight, for helping me to kick off a new season of the Real Chat Daddy Show. We have another great show planned next week. Next week will be the beginning of Black History Month.
All right.
We're going to celebrate all things Black history next month. We're going to have a lot of exciting guests. Remember, we're on Tuesday nights at 7:30 p.m. live on Facebook, YouTube, we're coming to Instagram very soon. Twitter. Wow. Twitter is now X, and Twitch and YouTube. So make sure you subscribe, like the show, do everything that's necessary for you to be a part of the show. We appreciate you so very much. I don't know what else. Oh, I do know what I want to talk to everybody about. The World of Chocolate is coming up Friday, February 9th at the Union Station. I am a judge again this year for World of Chocolate. As you guys all know, it's a benefit for the AIDS Foundation of Chicago. It's a wonderful, wonderful event. Everything is all about chocolate, love, happiness, and good energy. If you use the code ChatDaddy when you purchase your tickets, you'll get $15 off on your tickets. All right. So make sure you guys do that as well.
Oh, I love that.
All right.
I love that. I do. I love when my name has power. You know what I'm saying? Right. Phil, I was hoping you wouldn't be like Kim Burrell when Dion was singing and tell us, shh, shh, shh.
No, I would no.
Well, I ain't want you to start singing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want you to cross that boundary, any of that.
Right.
Because, Dion went off too. Like,
I'm
don't
telling
you start singing with me. Don't you start singing with me. Right. I love Dion's rich, deep voice. I really
Me
do.
too. Good Lord.
Yeah. I know. Isn't it amazing? It really
Yes.
is. All right. Well, remember, everyone, that 2024 is the year of all things epic. I just want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. Decided to do this again so we could connect with people. It's all about how do you connect with people, and this is it. So I'm glad to be here. Remember, Facebook, YouTube, X or Twitter, Twitch, as well as, other streaming platforms that are coming soon. All right. Anything else you guys want to say before we get out of here tonight?
Please sign up, spread the word. Tomorrow's the last day, January 31st. So
yes,
we need you runners. We need you.
I would run in it, but honey, I have a trouble running for the bus, so yeah, I don't know if I could do 26 miles, honey.
Wouldn't that be something?
We need you as the DJ every year. So I think you need to do that.
Thank you. Okay, well, that's all I can do. I DJ our cheering party every year. Dr. Phil, we've got to bring you this year.
Yes.
We have a great time, plenty of food. I DJ.
Right.
What mile marker are we?
I want to say we're before 19.
Right, we're like the 18th mile mark.
Yeah, I think we're before 19. Yep.
Right. And so I DJ, and we have a good time, and we dance and cheer on the people, all of that. Because, honey, I have trouble running for a bus, so I know I can run a marathon.
26 miles. Woo.
Yeah, I know.
That's a lot.
Right. But it is an excellent cause, so sign up.
Wonderful cause, wonderful charities, and we're grateful. This is our 3rd year in the marathon, so we would really love your support. We really would.
Right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so very much for joining us tonight. Let's get some of the last minute comments before we get out of here. I knew this show couldn't be done in an hour. I just knew it could not. I know. Right. Thank you, everybody. We really appreciate you. Oh, Betty Jones says she got goosebumps from your singing.
That's sweet.
Yes, wonderful. Everybody thought you really did a great job tonight. We appreciate you guys so very much. Tell your friends, share it on your social media pages. We'll be back next Tuesday night with another great show, The Real Chat Daddy Show. How can you guys follow me? Go to my website. Yes, therealchatdaddy.com is how you can follow me right there. It's just that easy, that simple. Do that. Follow me. Tell people about it. We'll be back next Tuesday night with another live show. Can you believe that? Another live show?
There you go.
All right.
Yes, Dion, anything else you want to say before I get out of here? I'm trying to get out of the comments. Wait.
What we want to say is, please, if you ever want to come and visit us, if you want to visit Art and me, you can easily come down to the guest house if you want to volunteer. We'd be happy to have you. There's so many people who need support. We help over 700 people a year. So that tells you that come from all over the globe to have support and stay with us here in Chicago. So if you want to come and volunteer and give back and sponsor a dinner, feel free to do that.
And we're going to talk more about that in a future show, because I do want to get more people of color. I don't care what your color is, black, brown, whatever it is. I want to get more people of color to come to Guest House and give back. Do you know giving back is good for the soul?
That's
it is.
Right.
It really
That's
is.
Right.
It is. It is.
That's right.
All right. I love you both. Thank you guys so very much for joining us tonight, therealchatdaddy.com. Until next time, my friends, be safe. Oh, wait, I need to get the picture. Okay, everybody smile. Yay. All right, one more. All right, very good. We love you guys. Have a beautiful night, and we'll talk to you later. We're out of here. Bye.
It's the real Chat Daddy Show. It's the real Chat Daddy Show. It's the real Chat Daddy Show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Real Chat Daddy Show.